Hi, y'all, and welcome to the Coffee Break Podcast. I'm your host, Kenzie Klem, and today's guest is Brian Villalobos, a multi-award-winning actor based here in Austin. You've seen him in HBO Max's Emmy-nominated series Love and Death alongside Elizabeth Olsen, in Richard Linklater's Apollo 10.5 with Glenn Powell and Jack Black, and in Accidental Texan with Thomas Hayden Church, Carrie Ann Moss, and Bruce Dern.
Got a story worth telling? Let's get to work. STLL Studios, Texas's video production team behind brands like Nike and L'Oreal. Commercials, films, animation, corporate and indie filmmaking, and yes, podcasts as well. Reach out at hello@stillstudios.com.
Brian, thanks so much for being here.
Sure.
Thanks for hanging with me during those 10 takes of that introduction of you.
That was lovely. That was lovely.
You are the second person
On Earth to
on
not
Earth
drink coffee.
I recently met that doesn't drink coffee.
Yeah. And what's weird is like I grew up, part of my childhood in Costa Rica, which is like coffee.
That's where my coffee's from.
100%.
What are you doing?
You like you're born and then they feed it to you.
Exactly.
And like, drink it, and everyone loves it. And I don't know. I never did.
All right. I'm only judging you a little. I'm
That's
just kidding.
fair. Judge away.
Thanks for being here. So
Of
excited to
course.
have you. I feel like we've had everyone you've ever worked with on here.
Oh my gosh.
But not you.
All of them?
Like
Yeah.
Olivia Nice. We've had Elena Kent.
She's great. Elena,
Scott
wonderful.
Rice.
Scott
everyone.
Rice.
Yeah.
I love him.
He's wonderful.
They're
We have to
great.
get Holt on here.
Yes.
I told him.
Yeah. I would call him. I'm sure he's-
Send him a text. We were on set and he showed me, or he sent me the link to your video. He goes, I make really weird comedy. I feel like you'd like weird comedy. Here's this.
How long had he known you when he said that?
Oh, we just met.
Like several seconds?
We
Yeah,
just
yeah.
met. He's like, I
He's
can
like, I bet.
see a character for you, Deborah. We're
yeah,
writing the
nice.
feature.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
going to
yeah,
play
yeah.
Deborah.
Oh,
and I was like,
amazing.
all right. And I watched it and I was like, this is really freaking weird. And I love it. I'm in. It was the weirdest writing, but it was so good.
It's great. He's brilliant.
was
He's
brilliant.
so funny, and he's just great.
He's so wonderful. He played my brother in that film and then my dad in the next film.
That's fine. That's cool. That's the kind of like
Like,
it's just the
my-
web we weave as actors.
Yeah,
Just
you
kind
know.
of different contexts.
That's
you know.
right. So how did you start off as an actor? Give me like a brief background about your journey before UT. Just TLDR, as the kids say.
Let's see. Well, I think when I was a kid, my mom always, she was very good at noticing what we were interested in. And she noticed that I liked to play charades a lot. And one day she was like, you should try acting. And I was like, okay, I do what you say, so I'll do it. She was very encouraging in that respect. And I think she had done some theater maybe in like high school and stuff. And so I went out for a school play, and I think in like fourth grade, I got to play Captain Hook or something in Peter Pan, and I'm just still chasing that high.
I mean, that's a career highlight right there.
I mean,
That's-
what are you gonna? Yeah, she made this like she did this brilliant piece of, because like when you're a kid,
Yeah.
your mom like makes your parents make your
100%.
costumes, and she took like a plastic cup and like poked a hole in it and threaded like an unfolded wire clothes hanger through it, and then covered that in aluminum foil. And was like, here, you put this on your hand, you hold on to the aluminum to the end of the clothes hanger, and then you put your coat over it, and it looks like you have a hook hand. And I was like, that's the
Best day
most
of my
brilliant
life.
thing I've ever. Like, I'm still like utterly impressed by that. It was like beautiful production design and like costume design, and I was like, Mom. And so yeah, there was that, and then I think I don't know. My mom asked me one time. She told me that one time she asked me as a kid what I wanted to be, and I said that I wanted to be a father, an actor, and a teacher. And I looked back a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, I've kind of done all of those. That's kind of cool. Not that you're ever done being a parent or I was like, cool. No, but I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So from a very early age, and then I went to college at UT. I went for journalism. The idea was always acting, but I kind of was like, I was like, well, I can just, for better or worse, I was like, I can get a degree in something else and like do acting on the side. And that's kind of what I did. And then I did a couple other things. I wrote for a paper. I was a substitute teacher, and then a teacher assistant, and then a teacher for a while. Worked at a high school for about 10 years with my wife. Throughout which time I was kind of doing acting when I could and on the side. And then when we had our first child, my wife and I both stopped working at the high school, and all of a sudden we were down to from a 2-income household to a 1-income household, and all of a sudden that income was pretty much 100% acting, which was about 10 years ago. And my body went like, like, oh my God. And like we had a baby, and it was just like it was like kind of a shock that I think now I'm kind of finally starting to come out of, but like, how the thing is.
Yeah. And your wife was the one that encouraged you to take an acting course, right?
Sort of. Yeah. She was like, you know what you should do?
Do we give her credit?
Yeah. She was like, you need this. No, it was more like we had always, we met in a play, and we'd always been into it. And she wanted to take an acting class, and I was like, I guess I will too. And, but then, yeah, it was kind of how I started meeting people in the local industry here. And then we did a lot of, student films at UT, because we were just kind of trying to learn how to get on set and like how to behave on a set. And it's a really great, like, it's a really, really great program. And it's a really great place if you're an actor trying to learn what a set's like, because you're there with other people who are learning. And then so many of those people are very young, but very talented. And like some of the people with whom I've done some of the collaborations that are nearest and dearest to my heart, I met when, I was in a student film of theirs.
Yeah, you were recently in France with...
Yeah, correct.
Right?
That's correct. I did there was a guy named Patrick William Smith, who was a grad student when I met him. And I was like, we're close in age. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think I might be like a year or two older. I don't know. But I did his senior thesis short film, and afterward he was like, "Hey, I'm moving out to California, but I think this is okay for me to say, Patrick. Sorry." He was like, "I'm moving out to California. I'm gonna like, I guess, direct commercials and stuff. I'll call you." And I was like, "Sure." And it was that thing where like you go as an actor, someone says something, and you go, "Wonderful. I fully believe that you believe that, and I'm going to take that and put it away."
Yeah.
Because if I wait for things like that, you just have to. You don't have to, but I tend to protect myself that way, where I go, "Thank you," and I will wait and not think about that until you call. And then 10 years later, he was like, "Hey, I've got this thing. I think you might. I'd like you to read for it." And I kind of had you in mind. I was like, "Okay." And we did a show in Ireland, and then we just did a movie in France, because he's a guy who, like, very gratefully for me, he likes to kind of write things that have sort of like a travel aspect to it. And so, we just got back from doing that. It was great. And it's with the same kind of crew, same cast largely. So people who've kind of become family. It was great.
Yeah. You had mentioned when we talked that just saying yes to things because you never know what's going to come of it, even if it's a weird or
Sure.
You have no idea. Do you feel like a lot of the things that you have done led to an array of other opportunities and projects?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I don't know. I just like acting. I like doing it.
I'm just a fan.
It's kind of, it's all right. So I really kind of, regardless of context, like I just kind of like doing it. If it's a commercial, if it's a whatever, if it's a movie, obviously, if it's a show, anything. And not that you shouldn't, listen to voices inside you that are like, wait, hold on, pump the brakes. This doesn't seem great. Not that you shouldn't rely on instincts or weird feelings, but I do tend to generally just be like, yeah, right, why not? Like, I'm not doing anything. My family's okay, or whatever. I can step away for a while. And it really is like a thing where, kind of, I really, I'm trying to think, there's almost not a single, maybe there's not a single project that I can really think of where literally nothing came of it right? Like, because ideally it's like you're doing a project because you like the script or you like the people involved, or they're paying you something that helps you support your family or something. And one or two of those things hopefully is in place. But sometimes you go and you're like, oh, I don't know how this is going to turn out. And I've had many experiences where I'm just like, I'm not sure. I don't know. And then it turns out way better than I expected. Or you meet someone who becomes they become a collaborator later on, or they're like, because the other thing too is like, you truly never know.
Yeah.
Because like on a set, everyone is there kind of doing the thing that they love. We're all there for the same reason. But a PA on a set often is like, I'm going to be a director, or like a grip is like, or a gaffer is like, I'm going to be a DP. A DP is like, I'm going to be a producer, and it's like, and you just never know, which is another sort of a cynical reason to just be kind to everyone. It's just nice to be kind to everyone.
It is.
I think, like whatever the mantra is, like show up on time, do good work, and be kind, which like is just a great way to approach most things. But then yeah, like the people around you are all, they love the things that you love, and you never know. You never know
Exactly.
what connections lead to connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I booked my first film in New York because the woman I was talking to in the lobby was the fiance of the director producer. Had no idea. They're like, yeah, she's talented, but also she's really nice.
There you go.
And I really like her energy and personality.
There's such
wild.
There's such a currency in that, weirdly, like not being horrific to work with.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, whatever roads lead to like, treating people with respect and kindness, like more power to you. But like a nice side effect is that people were like, that wasn't awful.
Yeah.
And like they came and did their job and we made the day, and like they weren't, and whatever. I don't know.
People want to work with enjoyable people.
Sure. Not that that's the only thing, but like it helps.
It helps a lot.
It's better than the alternative.
It is.
Sometimes.
100%. Yeah. You said you've been, I'm just veering off of everything.
No,
I had
please,
here.
let's veer.
You've been acting full time for 10 years, correct?
Yeah.
Was there a hurdle in the beginning of difficulty before? What was that progression like to feeling then more comfortable with, this is okay, and I'm supporting my family and everything like that?
That's a good question. There are constantly hurdles. I think it's not like something happened that made it easier. And it's also not like in 45 minutes, if I get a particular email or something, like I won't spiral. You know what I mean? Like I think it's more just kind of letting go of, and just kind of being like, well, here we are. I'm going to take, I tend to sort of live my life like 4.5 minutes at a time, and kind of be like, what's, okay, cool. Now this is, all right, what are we doing now? Okay, cool. And this and this. And I think, there are ways in which that doesn't work practically. Like you have to plan some things. And like my wife is like, I just wish like you would, but no, like I think that to whatever extent it's become easier, it's probably, I've been doing it for a while, and I'm like enormously very grateful that like there are people who have also been doing it for a while, who I've met, and kind of those relationships have stayed. And so there are times when people are like, hey, I thought of you for this, or hey, this, da, 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 da. So that's
the best feeling.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. And that, my gosh. But even so, like, this, particularly now, the industry is like what it is, and it's, it's life is this, what I mean? And so I think to whatever extent it has become more palatable or easier to deal with the uncertainty, it's just more kind of a mindset thing, which I fail at constantly, like all the time. Like I can have like just like a wonderful series of days or wonderful things that are happening that make me go like, oh my gosh, this, I feel validated and seen. And then the very next day, something happens that kind of hints, that, I don't know, like the opposite. And I'm just like I'm off the rails again. So,
yeah, you had mentioned when I had asked when we met, what like the most difficult part for you, and you had said fatigue and kind of the and I
did say
and I love that because I think that not only I connect with that so much, but so many of the fellow actors and creatives in this industry, and they're not alone. And I think sometimes we feel like we are. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm spiraling. This is awful. I'm exhausted. Why is nothing happening?
Totally.
Is that a mindset thing, and that's how you handle it?
I see. This is again like I think my wife has much more.
Or you just the 4.5 minutes, and that's
it. That's basically. I think my wife is a much more kind of in some ways more centered and grounded person than I am. Well, I don't know. I'm some kind of whatever. This is all. Hey, honey. We like there are. I don't know. I think. What was the question again?
Well,
yes, a specific thing that I lost track of.
But that's okay because I can ask you another question and you can bounce off of that.
Well, I liked your question.
Okay.
There was a key word in there. Is it something about
fatigue?
Fatigue. Yeah, right. Well, I think the fatigue thing is that there's so much about this job that like I think we all get into it because we're just like, I want to do that. And we connect with something as a child. We connect with a show. We connect with an actor. We connect with a story. We learn something. Like I always felt that like movies, in some ways, have taught me as much about life as the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how. I don't know. I think what art gives people is connection and like the feeling that
agree.
That like
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone. Exactly. Like I've seen movies that like are separated from me by decades, by geography, by culture, by whatever, but someone in that movie goes through something or says something or experiences something, and I go, I didn't know anyone else in the world had ever felt that. I thought that was just me. And that's profound and that's incredible. I think that's what art does. So we all love that. And that's what we carry with us into this, I think, into this endeavor. But like, you get here and so much of the job is just trying to get a chance to do the job, It's just like, please let me.
Yeah.
Please just let me.
What stuck with me is he said, we get into this for 10% of the joy, the storytelling, and the connection.
Yeah.
And the other 90% is chaos and things you aren't in control of.
Absolutely. That's absolutely
And that's
true.
a reality that I think not a lot of people see. There's so much you aren't in control of that
Absolutely.
you can't perseverate on. And I'm the kind of person where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking because they didn't like me. And you were just too tall or something
100%.
like that.
Yeah, and I feel like I think that we're now hopefully in a world where that idea has been proliferated enough that it's like, it's not you. Do you know what I mean? Like, or I mean, sometimes maybe it is you. no, like it's not like, like if I blow a performance, then whatever. But during those ones where you go, and sometimes you blow it and get it and you're like, what? Are you sure? Oh gosh. And then, but during, those auditions where you're just like, I did everything I could think of. I felt it. I wanted it ever. And then it really does come down to just something that you're not at all in control of. They are just human beings on the casting side who are just trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do from a different angle. And it's like, it's so, I think it's so easy to get like caught up because it is 90% out of your control. But to kind of perceive it as this like monolithic gatekeeping thing, which is like fully understandable. And I feel that as well. But like there are I think in my more connected and peaceful moments, I'm like, yeah, it's just a human being on the other side who is trying to tell a story, and they either, you never know, like you didn't fit with this group or whatever, but they if you hope the the dream is that they go, well, not now, but like, interesting. And I'm going to keep you here and maybe another time, or maybe, you know, if you're very lucky, they're like, well, that was interesting. Let's create something here that you do fit into, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's also chaos, and it's also exhausting. I'm feeling positive about it right now, but you know, again, talk to me tomorrow and I'll be like, this is exhausting. When does it get easier?
Yeah. And the fear underneath you said of like, okay, I had a great 1 month of all these projects, everything like that. And then you have that fear of, when am I going to be back on set? Was that the last time? All that?
Every time, yeah.
Handling that is, do you just handle it 4 minutes at a time? 4.5 minutes at a time?
Sure.
No, I'm like, or is that the mindset I need?
I think, no, I don't know. No, I don't know. I think, I mean, because yeah, like you know, you go, bump, 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 bump. Okay, cool. This is, but sometimes you hit that last thing and then you look at the calendar and you're like, oh, when is the next, I don't know. And then you're like, I got to make something happen. I have to. And you're like, you don't have that control. I mean, you can, I do believe very much that like, you know, like momentum, like activity creates activity, like connection begets connection. If you do things, it doesn't even matter. You can go like run scenes with somebody. You can go anything. I think the more you're doing it and the more you are in touch with the love of it, the easier everything else gets. And because it is difficult. But it's way, way more difficult if you're not in love with it. And there was a time where I was like, I'm in love with it all the time. I think there are times now where I'm just like, oh, am I? Like, it's hard. It gets hard. And I don't know. I think there was a moment last year. I really, maybe it was, I can't remember. I mean, it was last year, the year before. Anyway, there was a moment, I think last year, where like a couple things that I thought were happening fell through, and then some other things fell through. And then I was like, oh, well, at least this, and then boom. And I just was like, holy moly. Like, I'm not getting any younger. And like, there's all this stuff where it's like, I think as a young person, like a young person, I got into it. And I think sometimes it's easy to kind of be like, oh, well, like there's this thing I love, and then you do this and you do this and you do this. And then like you get that one magical thing, like that one job, and it changes everything. And I think very, very quickly, I was disabused of that notion of that, you know, and I was like, oh, it does happen that way for some people, certainly. But I think I very quickly put that out of my head and was like, oh, never mind. This is just you just do it. And but it had been years and years and years. And there were some things where, because like you can meet people who were like, I didn't mean to laugh, but like, they're in my younger and inexperienced days, I was working with other younger people, and you get on a project and they're like, this is going to do something. This is going to change. You're going to be, and like, this is all. And I very quickly was like, okay, like, sure, let's just do the thing. Yeah. But like years and years passed, and I realized that I had done some things that I was like, somewhere in my heart, I was like, but if that hits, or if that comes out, and that could change things. And then there was just a succession of things that didn't happen. Like things I was very excited about, and then things over here that I was like, well, these would also be good. And then those fell through, and those fell through, and none of them happened. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just had a thunk. And I was like, when does it get easier? I feel like I've been doing it for a long time. It's this weird thing of like, it's the thing I love, but I've also like yoked it to like the ability to support my family, mm-hmm. and like take care of my children. And then it's also fraught with ego, and it's also fraught with like I don't have a hobby because that's my hobby is my job, you know, all this stuff. And it's a blessing. It is an absolute blessing, but it's easy to just go like, when does it get easier? Like, and I realized after I sat there with that I was like, oh, I'm thinking that again. I'm thinking like, because if you approach each audition or each job and be like, this is the one where it finally stops getting hard. This is the one that changes things. This is the whatever. I think for me, it's the wrong way to approach it for myself. And I realized like, oh, like the question isn't like, when does it get easier? The question is like, if it doesn't get easier, do I still want to do this every day? And I was like, oh man. And then I was like, yeah, because like, yes, because there's nothing else I want to do professionally or artistically or creatively. And so I'm like, okay, I guess that's where we are. And I think sometimes you just have to, I just have to kind of have those moments. And it's usually something has built up and then go, oh yeah. Or you forget it and you're kind of brought back down to earth really quickly. But, you know, all of it is part of the same thing. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Do you ever get frustrated with auditions or like lose motivation with auditions, or is that just me?
No.
Okay, cool.
It's at the very least, it's both people at this table. And that's what it was, is that's kind of what I was struggling with, is that like after those had just kind of dropped out, like I got like a commercial audition. I was like, you know, and that was a moment too, where I was like, wait a second, like why, you know, I've been in spots. I'm sure like I could be in a spot tomorrow where like audition comes, I'm like, God, no, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, what? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Why am I feeling that way? And I think I don't know. It's just, you get fatigued emotionally, you get physically fatigued. You just, I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know. It's easy to fall into that. And then you just get out how you get out. And then hopefully it's like, you know, you just kind of like, you scoot yourself along the thing, and then God willing, you hit the, you know,
the hill.
The hill. Sure. Thank you.
Is that what you were looking
topographically?
for?
What am I?
Really
Yeah.
sure.
This thing. You hit the hill and you glide at some point. And that's the idea, or that's the goal for me, is to get to that moment where I'm just not thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm just whatever. And that's what I think generally, that's what I'm chasing, where I'm just not thinking about anything. I'm just experiencing. But there's so much to think about. And there's so much on like the internet and this, I don't know where this is going to end up, but whatever. Like there's like a whole cottage industry of people telling you how to do things and how, but if you don't do this, if you haven't done this by the time you're 25, do these 3 things immediately. Yeah. And this is like, but it also is encouraging. Like I'm not trying to, like, this is encouraging. Do you know what I mean? Or hopefully, whatever.
Well,
like just talking about it.
Exactly why this is so important to Lester and I, is because there's so many different journeys and avenues, and there's no one right answer.
Absolutely.
There's not one thing that's like, that's what's going to help you. This is what you should have done. You're going to fail because of this. It's like, no, these are all these people's stories, and take what you will and be inspired, or say, oh, that would work for me, or maybe that won't work for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like, and it's not like, if we could have it, I mean, I think if we could have it where someone just goes, just follow these 10 steps and then you get it. Like, that seems easy, and there are times when I'm just like, just tell me, right? But I'm just like, no, ultimately that's not the point, right? No. It's like, you don't want to AI your way to, you don't want to like you just don't, that's the point isn't hitting the 9 spots that you're supposed to, that someone else told you, and then you get it. Like the fact that we all get there differently, or that we all have a different journey, is the point. Like that's it. Like, I'm going to coin a phrase where the journey, it's the journey, not the destination. I think I just made that up.
No, I think that's
no,
a
I'm
thing.
just,
Oh.
no, I just mean like,
I
guess what I'm saying is like, I'm not saying something profound, but it's like, it is like, not to bring up but like it is analogous to this thing where people are like, oh, I can just AI it and do it. And I'm like, but the result is great, but what makes the result meaningful is this.
Yeah.
And this is the point. Like the point is to struggle and question and find things out. And it's like, you know, you take sometimes a circuitous or I don't know, like a diverting path to something, and that is what the meaning is. You know what I mean? You get to wherever you get to, and then if you come to something, like those people, like the people who are hoisting awards and like sobbing about it, like, they're not doing it because it was easy, you know, or maybe some of them are. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, but I think social media, it's now like they're an overnight success. No, they're not. You
Totally.
just didn't see all of the years of
Yeah.
hard work and tears and everything happening. So that's what I'm trying to, I teach master classes to younger actors.
Yeah.
And then they're the age range where they grew up with Instagram and things like that. And I have to tell them that's not all these Instagram people that you think are overnight successes and all these actors. It's not real.
Yeah. Except that sometimes it is. And it's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's weird because we're just like that. And this is like where I get to be like, I get to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is what like parents who are like, don't run after that dream or whatever. That's what they're thinking, is that like there's enough. There's like, it's more difficult than you think. But then every once in a while it does. And you're right. There's so much that we don't see, but there are people who just kind of, they pop suddenly. But yeah, you don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you talk to those people and they're like, oh yeah, I just decided to whatever. And here I am. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Do you have any projects coming up that you're really excited about? Also, do you write?
I do.
Did you and Holt write?
No, he wrote that. That was all him.
That was all him. Okay.
I do write, but I haven't done it in a long, long time because I just, partly because I just keep, I'm in this spot where I'm like, I'm doing it the wrong way, where I'm just like, I keep waiting for something to like grab me by the collar and be like, you need to write it. But also I've just been busy. I've just been doing this and got 2 kids. And I think I have been getting that itch the last few years. I used to be in a place where I was like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to write, but I want to write because I really do. I love it. But yeah, it's been a while. Projects coming up there. I mean, there's the movie we just made. There's a couple. I mean, there are some. I don't, not to be like this, but I don't know if I can talk. They're not like, they're not like Marvel movies or something, but they're just in stages where I'm not sure how much I can say about them. But yeah, there's a kind of a, I think hopefully like kind of character focused sort of horror movie that we're doing. There's another, I don't know. It's all going to be very broad. There's a few movies coming up.
Do you find, are there movies how often do you work with people you've already worked with and it's more of they bring you on versus auditioning for?
That's interesting. Well, by volume, like a lot of the stuff in Central Texas is commercials. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I don't know. That's an interesting question. I think if it's locally, there's usually someone on set that I know. Just because I'm old, I've been doing it for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I think there are times when you like you know of people and then you're like, oh, one day, and you go, okay. But then sometimes they come on and they're like, yeah. So like right now, yeah, the ones that I'm doing, it's 2 of them are people I knew before, 3. Yeah.
And they brought you onto the projects?
Which is, I mean, lovely. It's just it's a wonderful gift to have someone just be like, hey, come do the thing. Like, you don't have to, you can not. You don't have to, do the part. Like auditioning is lovely as well, but there's so much other stuff that it's fraught with that, like, I don't know. So I don't know but that's it's our job. We have to audition. Like it is. That's our thing we do until we don't.
I know. I think being in Central Texas, because there is so many commercial auditions, getting a bunch of commercial auditions, that to me sometimes I'm like, this is tough.
It is.
Because it feels like soul sucking isn't the word, but also sometimes it is tough knowing, all right, I feel like 80% of the determination of who is going to get cast is the look and things like that. And
sure.
And who fits with who.
A lot of times, definitely. I think this is a thing where I'm like, what's weird is that like I really do. I love doing commercials. Which is weird. I love it. I love doing it in any form. A commercial is great because you go for 1-2 days, and it's just like most of the time, because I'm not like model-esque. A lot of the stuff I get is comedic, which is fun. But then I get cast as like, as I said, I get cast as like idiot dad a lot, or I get cast as like dad who's trying his hardest but really messed it up, and then like the product helps him out. Or sometimes it's like sweet dad, like dad who cares about his kids, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty comfortable. And like, we'll have these like wheelhouses or whatever, and that's fun for me. Like I like going and just doing it and then saying hi to people and just being like, cool, and then we're done. And I like. That's the other thing too, is a couple of years ago I realized that like a huge part of what draws me to this is the change, like the constant change. Because you do a commercial, it's like 2-3 days. You do a movie, it's like, you do an indie movie, it's like 20 days, like 16 to 20 days, or you do like a month, or you do whatever. And it's like, it changes constantly. You change stories, you change characters, you change contexts, but like it's all within kind of an overall thing that I'm like, okay, I feel pretty comfortable with this. Like I can, so I don't know. Commercials are definitely their own thing, but I try as much as I possibly can to connect with it as like, because I think it's like acting's about telling the truth. And I think that like, there's the Meisner, acting is
behaving truthfully under imaginary circumstances.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. I didn't have it. I didn't know. Yeah. No. Yeah. But like, I think you're just, it's the same thing. You're just behaving truthfully under like a larger spectrum of imaginary circumstances or considerations. Right. So I still try to connect with it as truthfully as possible. What's weird is that like, I'm like, commercial, awesome, I'll do it. Something about the audition is
the thing is I love commercials, but the commercial audition drains me.
Because it's like a thing I need to do, and I go, I have to step away and I have to go up there and whatever. But then when I end up going up, I'm just like, I've been putting this off and putting this off. Yep. And then I do it and I go, that took 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or it took like 10, and it's just like, right, I forgot. So I don't know. I think there is sometimes, it helps me to reconnect with what I love about this, because that just makes it easier. I don't know. I mean, like that's like, I don't know. To the extent that anyone ever, like occasionally people are like, oh, what's your advice for an actor? And I'm like, more and more, I'm just like, I just love it. Just love it. That's it.
Yeah. And
I fail a lot, but like, love it. The more you can just do that and relax, that's it.
That's a great note to end on. Like that was so good.
Yeah. Awesome. And again, I'm not good at doing that all the time, but or even most of the time, but when I can, it's nice.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you.
Very, very, oh my gosh, handshake. Wow. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Was that out of frame? Could we? Yeah.
I don't know.
It happened. There was a handshake.
And to our listeners, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and follow on Spotify and iTunes so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
Got a story worth telling? Let's get to work. STLL Studios, Texas's video production team behind brands like Nike and L'Oreal. Commercials, films, animation, corporate and indie filmmaking, and yes, podcasts as well. Reach out at hello@stillstudios.com.